Hey, y'all, real quick. I just wanted to come on and encourage you real quick, okay? So I want to kind of listen. So God is going to fulfill every promise he made to you, okay? And everything that he said he was going to do, he's going to do. I want to remind you of that first, okay? But here's the thing, all right? Um, so you know how sometimes a promise will come, but then it feels like that promise is not really what you thought it was going to be or anticipated it to be, or there's some trouble surrounding that promise. This is the thing. See, just remember when Abraham, God told him to go and sacrifice the son that he and Sarah had. And that was the only child that he had with Sarah. And that was the promised child. Okay. And Abraham did not argue with God, which I think some of us, had God put us in that position and given us a promised child that he had promised a long time ago, and then we finally had the child in our old age, and then God tells us to sacrifice the child. I think those of us that live in this modern age, we probably would have questioned God. Okay? We would have. And I know I would have too. Yeah. But Abraham, he just followed what God said. And I can only imagine what was going through his mind on his way up to the mountain. Like, God, this is my promised child. This is the child you told me that the nations will be born out of. God, this is the child that you promised me and Sarah that, we ended up having in our old age, because we initially thought that we were barren, but we're not. And even though I made mistakes along the way and I slept with the handmaid and had a child with her, because we tried to go ahead of you, you still blessed us with our child. I can only imagine those are probably the thoughts that were going through Abraham's head, but he didn't speak it out though, okay? And anyway, getting back to what I'm trying to tell you. So that moment was for Abraham trouble surrounding the promise that God made, because if you can only imagine, God's telling you to sacrifice the one child that was supposed to be the promise of Abraham being the father of many nations, okay? And as they're on the way up to the mountain, I'm pretty sure Abraham was having various thoughts of, why, God, are we doing this? Yet he still obeyed. And this is the thing. When God sends you a promise, and it seems like there are some opposite instructions given to you surrounding that promise, keep moving forward and have blind faith to trust God. Because see, Abraham, in him having the blind faith to trust God and still obey, even though it may not have made any type of sense, that God would take away the promise or tell him to sacrifice the promise, he still obeyed. And in the midst of him obeying, God sent a ram in the bush. See, I want to tell you something, because I know for a fact that some of you have received a promise from God, something that God already had told you was going to happen. It happened. And now it seems like there's a storm surrounding the promise, that it seems like, did you really give this to me, God? Was this really you? And I truly believe that God is seeking to see if we are going to obey him blindly no matter what. And sometimes we have to be in a position to obey God blindly, because that allows God to then send a quote unquote ram in the bush that could only be from him, that no one else can take the glory of that ram in the bush coming through. And also you being able to continue to maintain that same blessing he gave you in the first place that the storm was surrounding. Now he gave you something else for your obedience. I hope y'all are picking up what I'm putting down. Listen, do not, and I repeat, do not give in the towel or doubt God. If God gives you an instruction, and I'm telling you, God's going to give you some instructions that ain't going to make no sense, because I've experienced it in my lifetime and I'm still experiencing stuff like that, okay? Sometimes the assignment, God's going to tell you to do something that will not make any sense at all. But sometimes we have to obey God and do what he said to do because there is additional blessing behind it. Okay, so I came to encourage you. Don't give up. Keep trusting God. Keep doing what God said, no matter what it might look like or what appears to be happening around you. And even if the blessing did come and it seems like, okay, God, did you really give me this? Listen, just let God do what he does. I promise you, you will not regret it. Just praise him through it. Obey God, sometimes blindly, okay? And trust him through it. I promise you, he will come through like he did for Abraham and many others in the Bible, okay? And for many of us that are still living on this earth today. All right. Just had to come on and encourage you real quick. I love y'all. Y'all know I love you. Now you go out and make it a great day on purpose. And don't you go mess up nobody else's day, okay? But just know, just obey God. I promise you, he won't fail you. Okay? Love y'all. Go make it a great day on purpose, okay? Love you. Bye.